Today I would like to tell you a short talk about special announcements. First, the speaker said that the speaker said good morning to the class, and he introduced himself, Professor Zhang, and he would be their biology professor last Timothy. And next, he said that that course were introductory course for students not majoring in sciences. Number two, first the speaker welcome to the poor both flights for one for the next stop to Hong Kong, and next he strategic on messenger bringing their suspect to run a private position. Finally, he reminded smoking not permitted on that flight. Number three, first the speaker announced that the stop on the garden was very storm. Garden tour would be very storm, and so she suggested returning the bus in the 15 minutes, and because they had there another one more garden to visit before lunch, and so they must leave on time. And finally, he reminded they didn't want to leave anyone behind. Number number three. First, the speaker announced introduced that were express train to New York, and next he said that the train, local train, was across the platform, and next he started stepping and watching the closed door. Finally, he announced next stop New York. Number four. First, the speaker got the attention everyone, and next he announced the actor playing the Macbeth that was that night, and the roles of Macbeth at that performance with play by Arthur Stanton. First, the speaker got attention everyone, and next he announced the driver of blue car parked near the front door. He started moving the car because that area was were for delivery trust only, and next he started moving the car to the parking garage. Number six. First, the speaker announced 10:30 guide tour of the museum would begin in 15 minutes, and next he started on owner ticket owner lining up at the end of the hall, and next he started going to front desk if they didn't have a ticket. Finally, he said that he reminded ticket was free, but they must have to get one to participate in the tour. Number eight. First, the speaker good morning and good afternoon on passenger, and next he introduced himself. Here he announced in the 5 minutes they would passing over the Lake Frank, and next he said that if the people look out the left side of the plane, they would be able to see lake. And next, he commented the cloud have cleaned up, and they had the beautiful sunny weather. Then next, he said that they should have a good view. First, the speaker announced coming up at the blast, come up after the news on the radio. Thousand, that had their they would be have they have us 2 days weather report, and following by the full hour of classical music. And next, he said that later that afternoon they would heard an interview with Lucida Park, work famous violinist, and who would discuss her recent concert tour. Finally, he started not missing. Number 10. First, the speaker announced the set of how keys were found in the cafeteria that morning, and next he started coming the mess of it if they think the key were yours and was theirs. And next he started asking for the Mr. Train. Number 11. First, the speaker announced they know he only like to stay a few words at the guitarist, even though the people heard enough of him every day. And next he said that he wouldn't interrupt their party too much. They just want to tell everyone that last year had been almost productive, and he knows the year would be even better. Finally, he tends to on of him of everyone, and happy new year. Number 12. First, the speaker said that the train and air welcome the people upon its non-stop service to London, and they had experienced a delay due to having traffic there in the Dallas, and so the captain had asked serve complimentary. And finally, he started remaining in their seats, so they could serve them better. First, the speaker announced they would like announced a retirement of Smith the musician linguist, and the next, he said that the rappers who had worked with Mitterlands would always remember how her optimistic outlook and affection manner have helped us get through our busy workday, and so she commented they would missing her, and but she said that they wished her best of hope she had a well-deserved rest during her cruise around the world.